it's Crystal here, and welcome back to Politics in Pajamas. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I want to talk about some of the tension that's happening between people who support Elizabeth Warren and people who support Bernie Sanders. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing to this channel, clicking the like button. It helps me out so much, and it's totally free for you to do. So, like I said, today I want to talk about a lot of the built-up tension that's happening between people who are passionate about Bernie Sanders and people who are passionate about Elizabeth Warren, because it's been a tense couple of weeks, and I happen to be in Elizabeth Warren groups online and Bernie Sanders groups because until the fall, Elizabeth Warren had held the top spot in my ranking. I had intended to vote for her. I ended up changing my mind because I personally felt like she had backtracked on Medicare for All. Her student debt plan was not quite as comprehensive. And I just wanted to make sure that we were going with the most progressive candidate right now because it seems like the world is on fire. And I felt like going with the strongest progressive was the most important thing for me. So Elizabeth Warren dropped out of the race very recently. And since then, I think both Bernie Sanders supporters and Elizabeth Warren supporters are having a lot of emotions about it. A lot of people I know who support Bernie Sanders, myself included, really felt like Elizabeth Warren, if she actually believed in the things that she was saying she believed in, like these progressive policies, should have come out and publicly endorsed Bernie Sanders. She specifically got into politics to fight because she was so angry about a bill that Joe Biden had been championing. Like, he had been pushing this bill and she was so mad about it, she ran for office. So the idea that she would not endorse Bernie Sanders right now and in effect basically support Joe Biden feels really confusing and strange to Bernie Sanders supporters. And a lot of Elizabeth Warren supporters felt like they needed time to grieve, and they were saying things like, Warren has time to make up her mind, she should be given space, you know, we need space. But I want to contrast that a little bit about how the moderates are handling things, because as soon as they look like they might not win the nomination, a bunch of them dropped out and were able to throw their endorsements in person for Joe Biden very quickly at an in-person rally. They get it. They know what they're fighting for, and they're frustrated that they weren't winning, and they were willing to do whatever it takes. And right now, it doesn't feel like progressives have had that same energy that we would need to do. Do I think Elizabeth Warren endorsing Bernie Sanders alone would guarantee him the nomination in any way? No, not at all. But I think it would have helped a lot of her supporters feel more comfortable with the idea of voting for Bernie Sanders, because there had been a lot of fighting between the two candidates and their supporters during the primary season. People are still angry about that. And a lot of women, maybe rightly so, felt like Elizabeth Warren kind of got the short stick because she was a woman, and they don't want to support Bernie Sanders right now because he's a man, I guess. I'm not sure, because Joe Biden is also a man, but maybe no, he's not nicer to women. I don't know what's going on with that. So actually, I think it's because Elizabeth Warren's team was very worried about Bernie Sanders taking votes from her in the primary, and they made him their primary attack. And that meant that Warren supporters spent a lot of time angry at Bernie Sanders because he was most likely to take Warren's votes during the primary. And so they don't have as much anger and frustration with Joe Biden, who's just kind of over here doing nothing, supporting nothing, and, you know, being a fill-in-the-blank candidate for people who want to beat Donald Trump in the fall. However, if we care about progressive policies, we need to work together in the same way that moderates are. We need Elizabeth Warren to endorse. We need her to be on the campaign trail for Bernie Sanders. I don't know if Elizabeth Warren supporters have made it this far into the video, and I don't know if this is going to help my case at all, but yes, it's really, really frustrating that Elizabeth Warren seemed to pretend to support progressive policies, but then when it came down to it, when it was actually a hard choice, when she could have actually made a difference in things, she decided not to at all. And I'm saying that as somebody who really has liked Elizabeth Warren for years, somebody who considered supporting her as my top choice in the primary. To see her constantly campaign about making hard choices and doing the right thing and persisting, and then to have her say, I don't want to endorse Bernie Sanders because I don't think he's going to get the nomination, and I don't want to like be affiliated with somebody who didn't win, and it would just be a lot easier for me if I don't endorse until after the nominee has already been chosen, which, thanks. That's not hard at all. I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well come out and support Joe Biden. At least that would show some courage of your convictions. But staying silent because you need space to grieve while the moderates completely coalesce around a candidate and push Joe Biden into the nomination, it doesn't come off as brave to me. And you know, I'm gonna go ahead and guess I lost any Warren supporters who might have made it this far into the video, but I have a lot of feelings about it too. And these are not policies that I'm supporting because I think Bernie Sanders is cool and has good quotes. These are policies that I support because I need them. I need healthcare, I need medical debt forgiveness. People I know need marijuana legalization. The planet's on fire, and I need, you know, a candidate who's going to champion climate change action immediately. These are important issues to me. It's not like I was just on Team Warren and liked wearing her t-shirts, or I was on Team Bernie Sanders and just plastered a yard sign and felt like it was a sporting event. This is my life. We're in a fight for our lives right now, and the future of our country and the future of the world depends on what we do. Elizabeth Warren has the opportunity to actually show some courage in that fight, and I still hope she takes it. I hope that this video ages like milk within like an hour, and as soon as I post it, it's outdated. But let's be realistic. She has no intention of endorsing Bernie Sanders. So I guess that's my perspective as a Bernie Sanders supporter of why I feel so frustrated with her right now. And I hope that, you know, as we go forward, progressives can take a minute to realize that the most important thing Elizabeth Warren said during this primary season is, I don't know why anybody goes through all the trouble of running for president just to talk about all the things we really can't do and shouldn't fight for. If you are fighting for the progressive movement and for these policies that affect people's lives, fight for them. Support Bernie Sanders. Make sure your friends support Bernie Sanders. I will put voting information down below. And if you're a Warren fan and you made it all the way to the end of this video, you are the true MVP. Thank you for hearing me out, and I will see you all in my next video.